Labradoodle puppy fans, we have a video today for you that's going to talk all about these 1 week old Australian Labradoodle puppies. In today's video, we're going to give you an update on the weights of each of these puppies, and we're going to give you all the exciting information. Did they meet that important first milestone of doubling their weight yet? Hi, I'm Claire from Mama Labradoodles, and these petite to mini Australian Labradoodle puppies have really been thriving this past week. You can see just how much they've changed and grown since our birth announcement video. And Mama Jojo here is just doing an awesome job as a really attentive, caring, loving Labradoodle mama. And in today's video, we're also going to talk about some fun things like choosing your puppy's name. And then we're just going to talk a little bit about bonding. Now, before we get started on the video, if you enjoy our videos and our content, I'd really like to ask all of you a favor, and that's to please comment on our videos. That helps us out so much. It's really important for us in terms of our rankings and whether we're able to just keep doing our videos. We'd love to share all of our knowledge with you that we can. And if you can't have time to do a comment, even a thumbs up will be helpful. Thank you so much for that. Now let's get back to the important things. You can see the puppies have all really blossomed. And look at these shiny coats. And take a look at this on Orange Collar's coat here. So what the heck is this? So what has happened here is one of his brothers and sisters has pooped on him, and Jojo has done her best to clean him up, but after we do the video, we'll go back and we'll get that bit cleaned up even more. It's really important right now that we don't actually bath the puppies at all because they still cannot regulate their own body temperature. They're a little bit more robust now, so we have been able to turn the temperature down 1 degree, but this isn't a time when you want the puppies to be wet or being exposed to wet. Similarly, we don't bath our Mama Labradoodles after they give birth. You'll hear some breeders talking about how they bath their moms right afterwards. But the problem with that is when you do it at home, it's almost impossible to get your mom properly dry. And also, mom gets a little bit anxious and frantic when she's away from her puppies for long enough for her to be in a bathtub, bathed, and then blown dry. I mean, let's face it, dogs never really enjoy being bathed. And the last thing a Mama Labradoodle wants is to be taken away from her babies, put in a bathtub, soaped up, rinsed off, and then all dried off as well. So what we do instead is we wrap their tails up because that's usually what gets the yuckiest. And then after they've given birth, we just sit in here and we slowly, over a longer period of time, start to brush them off. Now we also have a couple of products that are puppy safe, that are a dry shampoo and a wipe, and we'll use those as well. It's very important, of course, that you use only puppy safe products. And that's another reason why we don't like to bath on our mums here. We don't want the milk bar to have shampoo on it. Even if you rinse and rinse and rinse, there's still going to be some residual product there. And that's not something that we want to be exposing our puppies to. We want to keep them in as nice and a natural environment as possible. So even when we have our rugs that we show, our towels that we throw in here for mums that are digging, guess who? These have been washed with what my son likes to call hippie laundry detergent. It's the one that comes in a sheet rather than a liquid Tide type of thing. And we don't use any dryer sheets. All we use is a round wool dryer ball. And that helps to keep everything natural as much as possible for the puppies. When they're really little like this, we're doing everything to support their immune system. And that's also why our mums, when they go outside, we don't fuss and fume about whether they've got something on their paw. And of course, obviously, if they stepped in something, some kind of feces outside, we would get their feet cleaned off. But otherwise, we let them come in and out. We do restrict where they can go to have some control over that, because of course we're mindful for their safety, but we don't want to overdo it. We want to make things as natural as possible and allow the puppies to develop their immune systems from the natural and surrounding environment. Now, everything that we do, the way we have everything set up at Van Isle Doodles, is all based on what does a dog do naturally. And even from that, we go even farther as to what does an Australian Labradoodle do naturally. Different breeds of dogs were designed for different reasons. So they all have a different DNA, basic instincts and inclinations. So it's important that you recognize what you're dealing with. So what's appropriate for an Australian Labradoodle is not necessarily going to be appropriate for a Border Collie, for instance. I have a friend who had a litter of Border Collies, and that's an entire different kettle of fish. Everything is different about a Border Collie as compared to an Australian Labradoodle. So everything that we are speaking about in our videos from Van Isle Doodles relates to how it is appropriate for Australian Labradoodles. Now, we've talked lots of times about this whelping area, how it's secure, mom is not distracted by anything. And this is why we don't raise our puppies in our kitchen or our living room or our family room. That'd be fun. I would think that would be great, because then I would be with the puppies 24/7. But it is not good for the puppies, and it's particularly not good for the mums. Mums get way too stressed, way too distracted, and it's a little bit disconcerting for a mom when she's stuck with her puppies and there's her family right there, but she can't get to them. This way, our girls know, oh, good, here is Claire, here's Reynolds, here's Taylor, here's Shannon. They're here to spend time with me. Here's my own family. Isn't this great? They come out and they participate fully in activities in the house for the period of time they're comfortable with. They tell us. Now, this is something that's going to be key when you have your puppy to remember for the entire life of your dog. You have to learn how to listen to them. Now, they don't talk, so we have to learn how to read their language, which is all done through their body language, expressions on their face, what they're telling you they want to do. So for instance, with Jojo right now, she's really keen on digging this carpet up, and we don't want her to do that because of the slippery surface. So you have to listen. So, okay, is there any reason that she is digging up that we need to address? And if there's not, then okay, it's simple. We put something in that she can dig up, and what she's really wanting to do is hide her puppies. She wants to have them covered up. So when she has a blanket or a towel, she puts them all underneath them. She rolls it around. You can't believe all of the excavations that she can do with one blanket or one towel. It's quite amazing how clever and creative she can be. And what we have to do is remember when we come in to be very careful. We don't come in with our hands or our feet. We have to very gently open the blanket, open the towel, find all the puppies, count them, and then enter and go, okay, here we are, we're here for our visit. So you see how Jojo is quite happy to have me in here, but she's not all over me. She's not obsessed with getting attention from me, and that's because we have met all of her needs. You can tell she's showing you, she's talking to you, she's speaking and saying, I'm relaxed, I'm happy, I'm content, I'm enjoying myself being a new mom. And that's what we want, because we have a happy mama, that all of those feelings go right into the milk and right through to the puppies. And that is step one for creating a nice, calm, well-adjusted puppy. Right, Jojo? Yeah, what a good girl. Now, Jojo does bark, and she does get excited. It's not like she's calm all of the time. We can't control that. She's not living in a bubble. So she does bark, and she does get agitated sometimes. When she wants to go out, she'll tell us. If somebody comes in and she doesn't like them, she may take a little bit of a minute to bark and then come back. But what we do is when somebody comes in, so today we had our wellness exams for the Sable Truffles puppies, and our vet and his partner were here to do that. We do not take our puppies to the vet. We keep them here because the vet is where they really can be exposed to diseases, because of course the vet is the hospital. So we have our vet come here. He does mobile calls, so he is not in the clinic bringing things from the clinic to our puppies. So when he came in, Jojo had a conversation to say, who are you? What's going on? And because the door's solid, she can't see. So that's when it's important that you open up the door, let her see who it is, and if she wants to engage, we open the door and let her come out, check the person out and go, oh yeah, okay, I know who it is. And then she's comfy when she comes back. Forcing your dog to stay where they can't see, they can't hear, they don't know what's going on, if you have a dog who barks at the door, only ramps them up even more. So yes, you want to make sure the person gets in the door and the door's closed, so your dog's not going to escape, or there's not going to be anything at the door that's fraught with disaster. But then once everybody's in and you can control it, then that's when you let your dog out. If you happen to have an adult dog that barks at the door all the time, when someone comes in, the thing to do is ask them to come in and sit on the floor. That way your dog can't jump up on them because they're on the floor. And if they're on the floor, they're way less intimidating to a dog, because now your body language is saying, hey, hi, I'm here and I'm on your level. All little things to keep in mind. It's very important to listen to what your dog is telling you. I have a little story to share. Quite often when puppies go home after they've been home for a few weeks, our families will say, oh, I'm calling and my dog's not coming in. I think their recall isn't any good. Usually it's not that their recall isn't any good. What's happening is the dog is communicating to you, I'm not ready to come in yet. Can you come out and play with me for a few minutes, please? And then if you go out and you start running after the dog, or even just walking after your dog, they know right away when you're trying to corral them and get them to come in. What is the dog going to do? Yay, you're out here and we're going to play. Off they go. They run the other way. And the more you try to corral them, chase them, get them to come in without them doing it on their own free will, the more they're going to run away and the more they're going to learn that lesson. If you need to go somewhere on time and you want to let your dog to go out to the bathroom and you can't rely on them respecting you enough, that's key, to come back when you call them, use your leash. Now, this is part of why we give you our puppy starter kit. One of the things you'll find in there is a long line, and this is exactly when you would use your long line. You'd go out, you'd have your puppy on that long line, they'd have plenty of freedom to run around a bit, but get down to going to the bathroom, which is really all you want them to do. They're attached to you, you're in charge, and then you just say, okay, come on, let's go, Rover, and you start to bring them in with a leash, bring them in the house, reward them, you tell them how wonderful they are, and then you go about your business. But one of the key takeaways here is, first of all, respect. If your dog doesn't respect you and doesn't think you're worthy of that respect, they're not going to come, they're not going to sit, they're not going to stop barking, they're not going to do anything you're asking, because you're nothing to them. You have to earn that first. And that all starts with bonding. So this is what we're doing with your puppy right from the time they're born, is we're bonding with them. Jojo doesn't live with us. She lives in a guardian home. She is incredibly well bonded to all of us here. She listens, she does what we ask her to do. And she doesn't have to be with us every day. It's not something you have to continually drive into their heads, but you have to have that relationship right from the beginning. Now, if you've had some issues and you've broken that relationship, that trust, or you haven't yet got that respect, that's when you need a really good trainer. That's when you need to start having somebody come and help you. But what you need to recognize there is it's not your puppy you're going to be training then, it's you. You need to know how to make your puppy come to you. And one of the ways that you do this is, rather than going after them, you stay still. You have a toy, let's say a squeaky toy, and you squeak it and you go, wow, this is great, Rover, come on, wow, look at this, what is it, come on, Rover, and see how she's already picked up just from the tone of my voice. Your puppy and your dog are going to come over to you and go, what is she doing? Why are they acting so strange? Humans are so weird. I better go see what's going on. And then you don't go, ooh, like this to get your puppy. What you do then is you would sit down, you'd have the toy, wait till they got up to you. So let's say I have a toy. You'd pet them, say, yeah, isn't that fun? That's great, right? And then you would just get the collar, clip on your leash and say, okay, come on, let's go inside and play with it. And then give them at least 2 or 3 minutes of playing with it to reward them. So that's a little bit advanced for this stage of this litter. It was just something that had recently happened today and was on my mind, so I wanted to share that with you. Now, what's going to happen if you're on this litter list is you're going to get a video this week, and it's going to tell you all about getting your house set up and ready for welcoming your new puppy. And the other thing that now is a great time to do is start thinking about a name for your puppy. Now in this litter, we've got 5 boys and 2 girls. I have a spot on this litter, and it is my intention to keep one of the 2 girls, assuming that there is a breeding quality female there. So chances are you are going to have a boy. And before we go any farther, there is 0 difference between boys and girls unless you're a breeder. Obviously, if you're a breeder, there's a big difference. But you are taking home a companion, and it's the dog's personality, their basic intrinsic DNA that matters to you. And that's why we do our matching. That's why we find the dog whose basic self is going to match you and your lifestyle to make sure we have that successful fit that's going to last for a lifetime. And you're just going to absolutely love every part of your puppy journey with these puppies. So now let's talk about the kids. Whether they have made that first important milestone. So what we look for as breeders as a sign of really good health in our puppies is that they double their weight within the first 10 days. Now in a litter this size of 7 puppies, when we have a small mom like this, we don't expect that that's necessarily going to happen. We would probably extend that expectation to more around day 12. But I am really happy to report that every single one of these puppies has passed doubling their birth weight. In fact, there are some of them that are at 140% of their birth weight. So they have really done well. So that just is another sign and another example of the really good health that Mama Jojo was in before she got pregnant, while she was pregnant, and now that she's lactating. And that is 100% attributable to what she eats. And all she is eating, and pretty much all she ate during her pregnancy, was Toldon Farms. Now, Toldon Farms has a really nice, 2 actually, really nice puppy formulas, and we alternate between those 2. And then we do also give them a little bit of regular adult food from Pets for Life or Steve's. Those are the brands that we think are all just really excellent products. And other than Steve's, they're all made in Canada. So yay, that is a real bonus. Yes, and the girls just love it. They just eat it right up. I do not have to hand feed anyone. I just plunk the bowl down and poof, it's gone in a heartbeat. So Jojo's eating about 3.5, almost 4 times as much as she normally would. She's not skinny at all. You can see her coat is beautiful, lush. She's got a couple of mats here we have to clean out. She's got a lovely luster and sheen to her coat. It's soft. She's in just prime physical condition, and that's what you want to see. When you're checking out breeders and where you want to get your puppy, take a really good long look at the dogs while they're pregnant and lactating, because you want to see a dog who, unless you were looking from here down, you would have no idea that they were lactating and just had a litter. That's what you're looking for. Beautiful coat. There should be no hair coming out at all, no bald spots, nothing like that. And you can see her eyes are bright. She's happy. That's what we want. Yeah, I'm talking about you. You're beautiful. All right, so let's do the puppies in birth order, and let's see where everybody is at weight-wise. I think you'll be surprised at some of these weights. And first on the list is our firstborn, and she was a girl, and that's our pink collar girl. And she's just trying to get onto the milk bar there. So whew, I'll just get her off before she gets on and then gets mad at me. This is our little caramel tuxedo girl. She's a good size girl. And you know what's fun is when I was looking at her this morning, already it looks like she has tiny little slits around her eyes, like they're getting ready to open very early. We've had dogs who've opened their eyes on day 10, so maybe she's going to be a real quick one here. So Miss Pinky Collar is 522 grams. So she's just done great. And obviously, as I said, they've all more than doubled their birth weight. Next, we've got Blue Collar. There you go. And Blue Collar, oops, that's yellow. Sorry. Blue Collar, where's calling Blue Collar? They're all going to be a little bit annoyed at me for disturbing their morning meal here. Come here, hon. I need you. Oh, I'm sorry. You can go back. There we go. Blue Collar, he is our beautiful dilute chocolate, and he's got all this white on him. He's a flashy puppy. He is also a phantom, so he's what we call a tri. All these dogs are phantoms, even if you can't see those markings, because both mom and dad are phantoms, so necessarily both the puppies are phantoms. Lots of nice white spots going up the head there. Very handsome boy. And Mr. Blue is 644 grams. He is the biggest puppy in the litter this week. And you can see he's quite a chunky fellow. Now, when I say he's a dilute, that means he's going to look similar to Jojo when he gets older. Jojo, when she was a puppy, was this type of color. There we go. It's really pretty. I think it's really cool. Next, we have Orange Collar, and he's over here. Orange Collar is our only black boy in the litter, and he is our flashy fellow. He is a tri-phantom as well. He looks just like his Papa Booey. Oh, just so handsome. Lots and lots of white there. Oh, I know. My nose is just like Mommy's milk bar today. Yes, way to go, puppy. So this is what I mean by bonding. This gives him a chance to sniff me, know me, and let him just get into my neck, around my ear, just have a nice positive experience. And Mr. Orange is 463 grams. He is the second smallest puppy in the litter, and he's just so handsome. There you go. Next we have Red Collar, and Red Collar is appropriately got that color of collar because he is a red boy. And we know that because if you can see his pads there, they're black. So to be a red phantom, he is a red phantom, but to be a red Australian Labradoodle, you must have a black nose, black lips, and black pads. And you can see his black nose is starting to fill in, and you can even see a little bit of his black lips showing there. He's got some white on him as well. And this is one of the puppies where you can't see his phantom markings because he's not chocolate and he's not black, he's red, but he is what we call a hidden phantom. So he is the same as our boy Jack, though Jack is a caramel, very handsome little guy. He, a handsome boy, 481 grams. Then we've got our littlest puppy in the litter who is Green Collar Boy. That's this little guy here. And I am not going to pick him up right now just because I really like to leave him on the milk bar because he is little. And you can see Orange is trying to get on the milk bar there. He's trying to share Green's spot. There's nothing there. Because he is little, during the week at first, we made lots of extra efforts. We would come and sit in here for 30 minutes at a time, and we would make sure he was on a nipple because we wanted to ensure that every day he was gaining at least 10% of his body weight. So he is 384 grams, and that means that cumulatively he's at 98% of his body weight. So he's just too shy of being 100%, but I'm going to call it 100% because we weighed them very early this morning. Normally we weigh them toward the end of the day. I bet you after this feed, if I weighed him, he would have enough there that he would be at 100%. If he stops, oh, look at, he has stopped. There we go. So we can take a look at you, my little handsome. He's still attached, but he's not really nursing. So he too is a dilute chocolate, and he is a tri as well. all that white. He's got beautiful markings on his face. They're very even right up the middle of his face. He's got lots of white on his legs there, and plus those little phantom markings. Going to be just a stunningly beautiful boy, right? I love you. And then we've got Yellow Color, who is our other girl. She's over here. She's on the prime spot. Actually, I'm just going to take Green, and I'm just going to offer him one of these larger spots. See if he's still hungry. There, you see how good he is at that? So we've given him lots of support. So earlier in the week, when he wasn't as strong as he is now, we would have to hold him up here because he would fall off. Now, after we did that, really for the first 2 days, he was well on his way. He knew what to do. He had lots of strength. He really just did a fantastic job. So now I'm just going to slide Yellow Color off here. And she's our other girl. And she is a darker chocolate. And she is a phantom. And she is one of the few puppies that doesn't have any white. She has a little bit of white on her, under her chin there. And one little tiny bit on her chest. And a little bit on the bottom of her feet, but that's it. This is a really strikingly pretty girl. Very nice girl. She has some of those beautiful caramel highlights on the top of her head, so I suspect she's not going to stay super dark as she matures. She'll probably lighten up a bit. And Miss Yellow is 506 grams. And then last but not least, I just give her back to her spot. Make sure she knows where to find it. There we go, good girl. Is our Silver Collar, who's over here just chowing down. Hey, come here, sweetheart. Can you let go? Maybe I'll try him from this angle here. And we'll just slip him off again. Super gentle, because we don't want them to associate us with anything that's not positive. And nobody wants to have their food pulled away from them. And actually, I'm sorry, I said that Yellow was the only one without any white. Silver Collar is exactly the same as she is. A beautiful chocolate phantom without the white markings. He's no, not really. They're about the exact same color. He has a little bit fewer caramel highlights, but otherwise he's very similar. And Silver is 533 grams. Oh, no, now his prime spot got stolen there by Green, so that just goes to show you how far Green has come. And we'll just put Silver back over here. So you see how the puppies, they use one another to support themselves when they're at the milk bar. What they're doing with their paws there when they're doing this, like a cat kneading, is they're pushing on the mammary gland, getting the milk to come out more. So because we've got 7 puppies, we don't have 7 faucets here. So they have to alternate and take turns. So Pink is on a nipple that was already being used by Blue Collar. You're blue, right? Yeah, by Blue Collar. So she's busy pawing away there, trying to get what was in there to come out a bit more. And Mr. Orange is trying to hog her spot and butt in. So I'm just going to move him over here and remind him that there's one right here that he could try using. Sometimes I adjust them a bit to help them out, and then it's up to them to figure it out after that and stay in place. Because you don't want to interrupt and you don't want to interfere, but you do want to sometimes just give a helping hand. There we go. There. Now everybody's all perfectly lined up. They're perfectly happy. We really hope you enjoyed the video. I hope the information was helpful to you. For those of you getting a puppy from this litter, as I said, you will get your educational video with all sorts of helpful information about getting your house ready. And it's time to start thinking of a name for your puppy. So we'll give you some information on that. But in a nutshell, try to think of a name that's unique. 2 syllables is always great so you can shorten it. And something that has a really good meaning to you. And again, if you have a moment and you can comment on this video, we would appreciate that so much. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you again next week when we should be able to see some of these eyes opened up and really get to know these beautiful Australian Labradoodle puppies.